So you know the ones when you're listening to a song that you really like and you're like, that's my tune.
That's my tune.
Hey, this is Jojo B and this is the 12th episode of That's My Tune. On Tuesday, I had a chat with The Sweetness about our love for UK Garage, among other things. And I felt like, you know what, I'd like to expand on that more, hence the bonus episode. See how much I love you. So there's one UK Garage song in particular that I love so much. It has impacted me in different ways. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to talk about that today. The song I've chosen is Battle by DJ, producer and writer Wookie. So I'm going to let you enjoy this cool groove and I'll be back after this. Enjoy. And that was Battle by Wookie featuring the vocalist Lane. You know what? Let's give them a round of applause. Yay! But you know what? I'm a big UK garage head. Like, honestly, I really, really am. And I hope other UK garage heads can relate to me on this and listen to this episode. Like, we need this space right now. I mean, it was such a great moment in time where music is concerned in Britain. Like, for us UK heads, something we could call our own. And it's just good vibes all the way. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's why I felt like, you know what, I need to talk about this song. And of course, there's a backstory attached to it. You know me. I mean, Wookie was so influential in the UK garage scene. He was known mainly for remixing popular songs such as Gabrielle's Sunshine and Sia's Little Man. Little Man, I'm immensely proud of... Wait. Let me not start. And you see, Wookie had this signature sound, so you knew it was him from the jump. You see what I'm saying? But then the year 2000 dropped and he released his self-titled album Wookie, and Battle was one of the singles that was released from that album. And we'll get to the song in just a moment, but let's reminisce on the year 2000 for a second. Remember the rumor of the Millennium Bug? Remember when there were rumors going on about how apparently once the clock strikes 12, like everything is going to shut down and some people going crazy, just doing all kinds of shopping to make sure that they could survive, you know, and there's the whole Y2K thing, and every music video had this whole metallic thing going on. And on the lead up to the year 2000, like, you had artists who were writing songs about the year 2000. And remember the previous year, 1999, when Will Smith dropped Will 2K. Here it goes, another year, everyone, new millennium. No, new millennium. Was it millennium? Yeah, whichever one. Hey, so yeah, that is, I remember that clearly. Like, the year 2000 was just causing a lot of hype. But we survived it, and here we are, 21 years later. Nobody died. Nothing shut down or anything like that. But anyway, moving on from that, let's talk about Wookie's Battle. Now, this song means a lot to me. I love the song and what it's about. And I'm going to share my story of how I discovered it. So it was a song that was everywhere and I kept seeing it on TV. And I remember the first time I watched it, and for some reason, it just captivated me. The visual was very, very simple. Wookie and Lane in a warehouse, just singing the song, and Wookie would sometimes be playing some of the chords with his keyboard. It was really low key, nothing crazy, nothing complicated, which I liked. And the song was just, I loved the lyrics, uplifting, and the instrumental was dope. To the point where anytime it came on TV, I always had a video ready to record it. I mean, remember, year 2000, YouTube didn't exist or anything like that. You still had to rely on the rotation of music channels to see your favorite song. And the funniest thing is, anytime I was ready to record the song, for some reason, I always caught the video like halfway through. Don't ask me why. But the few occasions when I got the whole song, I had the video ready and I recorded it. Like, I had a video where it's just like so many recordings of Battle at various different points. But here's the thing, like, anytime it wasn't on TV, I could just watch the video whenever I like. Shout out to the VHS crew. We really persevered during those times. And I loved Battle so much that was the first song I ever bought, the first ever CD I bought. I remember it being on a window display at a small little shop in a shopping center that was close to me at the time. And I went in and I asked them how much it was, and they said £4. I was like, okay, cool. So I saved up £4. Now, when you're younger, yeah, £4 is a lot of money, yeah. So I saved up my £4, and then on a Friday, it was around 5 p.m. I went to the store and I got the last copy, the very final. In fact, I got the window display CD. Can you imagine? And I bought it. I went home, recorded it on cassette. Who remembers those days recording CDs into cassette? Because I had a tape Walkman at the time. I think it was a Sony one. Yeah. I recorded it on cassette and then I went out and I was playing the song. And if you remember, when singles were being released back then, it wasn't just that particular song. There were different remixes, different edits. So along with the actual song, there were like 3 or 4 remixes, if I remember correctly, of the song Battle. So I listened to all of them. And I think apart from the original, there was one other remix that I loved. So I would listen to both those two and fast forward in the other ones. It's still all love though, Wookie. It's still all love. So that's the story on how I discovered Battle. And to this day, it's still a song that is close to my heart. So yeah, that's the story. Now, as you know, I'm big with the production. So we're going to move on to that now. We've done all the cute stories. Now to move on to the technical stuff. Right, so there's not a lot of instruments in this track. It's quite simple in its setup. So I'm going to talk about that first. So you have the synth. That's what opens up the track. I'm not sure what plugins were used. Though I'm inclined to think that Phasor was probably used on this synth. I'm not sure. But I will tell you something though. Anytime I hear that synth, it makes me think of glass. Don't ask me why. You know when you see like sparkling glass or somebody runs their finger over glass, it makes me think of that. Anytime I hear that synth, it makes me think of that. Don't ask me why. Right, and then you have 2 sets of hi-hats. So the first set, they are panned and have a slight bit of reverb. And then you have the second set that are in the center of the mix and they're dry. No reverb, no nothing. And then you have pizzicato strings, which have a touch of reverb. Now, my garage heads, again, pizzicato strings were very, very important in garage tracks. I don't know why. It was like one of it was the holy grail. It was very, very common. Like, remember, let your body groove, you gotta let your, like, dun, 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 dun. That's pizzicato strings. Like, there's so many garage tunes that have pizzicato strings. I don't know if there was a requirement. Like, anytime there's a production, you must have pizzicato strings in this UK garage track. But it was there, so there you go. And then you have the bass kick, obviously, nicely EQ'd. You can feel the boom. And then you have the bass line. You have the snare, which sounds late. So it sounds like 2 snares were doubled up to sound like 1. And then you have your Rhodes or electric piano. Some people call it Rhodes, some call it electric piano, but they're pretty much the same thing. And the Rhodes has a tiny touch of reverb. So that's the instruments, that's the breakdown, that's what I hear when I hear them. So let's talk about the actual music itself. We've spoken about the instruments. Let's talk about the music itself, the way it was produced. I must say, I like the way the intro was put together in layers and process of elimination. So let's look at the intro for a moment. So like I said earlier, the synth opens up the song, and then I call it the mysterious synth because it sounds mysterious, but yeah. So you have the synth, and then you have the first set of hi-hats that are panned, have a tiny touch of reverb, and then you have both the pizzicato strings and the second set of hi-hats come in together, and that ushers in the next section where the vocals come in. When the vocals start, I will talk about the vocals in more detail in a moment, but I'm just, giving you a little marker. So when the vocals kick in with the fugitive in hiding, yeah, you have the kick drum and the snare. And then once they start singing On the Run, the synth fades out. So the synth is still carrying on, but once On the Run comes in, then the synth fades out. And then once they sing You Lose the Spirit, it's just the pizzicato strings and the kick drum is faded in. So dun, 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 dun. You see what I'm saying? So it creates this nice build up. And then you have 8 bars of the bass line, the kick, the snare, and the hi-hat, right? And then the vocals come in again. And once, yes, you have the fugitive and hiding, and then when you get to On the Run, the pizzicato string replaces the bass line. So the bass line is eliminated and the pizzicato strings come in instead. And then You Lose the Spirit, it's the pizzicato strings and the synth. And then you have the kick drum. Dun, 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 dun. So that's the intro. That's the intro, ladies and gentlemen. Let it marinate. So you see how the layers come in, instruments come in, come out, substituted, and I love that build up. It's cool. It's really cool. So let's go to the verse. You have both the hi-hats, the kick drum, the snare, the Rhodes electric piano, whichever one you like to call it, and the bass line. And when you hear the Rhodes, it's quite staccato. So dun, 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 dun. Like it's very sticky the way it's not smooth. But there's going to be a slight difference to that a bit later, which I'll point out in just a moment. Then you get to the hook, the same instruments as I stated, and the synth comes in and the Rhodes. So the Rhodes are the same chords as what were played in the verse. When you get to the second verse, is the drums and the bass line, the synth fades out. Now the bridge, here's a slight difference. You have the bass line, you have the drums, and you have the Rhodes, but the Rhodes are now sustained. The chords are now sustained. So it's not the same sticky staccato way that was played in the verses. It's now sustained. So it gives that nice contrast. It's nice and smooth. You get me? And then when you get to the ending, again, you have the whole layers, instruments in, out, in, out. So I'm going to break it down in a way that hopefully you'll understand. So you have the bass line, you have the drums, you have both the hi-hats, the synth, and the pizzicato strings. And then it gets to a point where it's just the pizzicato strings, the synth, the snare, and the pan hi-hats. Then you just have the pizzicato strings, the synth, and the hi-hats. Then the pizzicato strings, this, and the synth, and then it's just the synth that fades out. Again, I love the whole layers. I hope I'm making sense here. I really hope I am. But this is what I do when I listen to music. I break things down in my head. And the funniest thing is, when I was listening to this to write down notes, and believe me, I have to write notes for my podcast, otherwise I'll be all over the place. When I was writing my notes, I was like, oh, I did not notice this before. I did not notice that before. It's amazing what you hear when you actually have to study something properly to present to people. So we've moved on. We've done the instruments. We've done the production. Now let's move on to the vocals. Again, I love the intro. The BVs are worked in layers. And I love it. And you know me by now, I love a good vocal arrangement. So let's explore that for a while. Right. So the intro builds in layers. And there's a tiny touch of reverb both on the lead vocals and the background vocals. When the first line is on fugitive and hiding right through to trying to show you're surviving, it's just the tenor. Then when they start singing on the run from soul to soul, it's alto. So you have the tenor and the alto at this point. And then when you lose the spirit through to the end, it's soprano. So that's where it's 3-part harmony. And then when they sing that last word, lost, the vocals are on the center and there's delay. So lost, 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 lost. Let me just add, the soul to soul is a nod to Wookie working for Soul to Soul, the group Soul to Soul. So he's working with Jazzy B, who's a writer and producer for Soul to Soul. So it's a clever nod. So yeah. So I love the way that the BVs are built, gives a nice layer, and it works with the instruments as well. So love that. Very, very intentional. When you listen to the verse, the vocals are very simple. The lyrics are uplifting, it's encouraging, and the vocals are simple. Pretty much anybody can sing, and even the BVs, they accentuate what is being sung, and it's in unison, so there's no harmony or anything like that. Yeah, it's just simplicity. I love it. When you listen to the BVs for the chorus, it goes into 3 and 2-part harmony. It goes in and out of 3 and 2-part harmony, and I'm going to explain. So every day is 3-part harmony. Like a battle is in 2-part harmony. But will over is 3-part harmony. Come is in 2-part harmony. When we get back, 3-part harmony. In the saddle, 2-part harmony. Faith will bring us home is 3-part harmony. And it's like the second time when the chorus is sung, you have what I just stated, and then another layer of vocals is being introduced. So you have that every but will when we face will. So it's beautiful the way they brought that together. Oh, I love a good vocal arrangement. It's dope. It's absolutely dope. The bridge, 3-part harmony all the way. And then when you get to the final chorus, it's the what I stated earlier on. with the added extra on top. So that is from the jump. And then you have Lane, who's ad-libbing on top. The only thing I'll critique about the final chorus or choruses is that Lane's lead vocal is drowned out. And I wouldn't say it's necessarily because of the layers. I just feel it wasn't mixed well. And maybe Lane wasn't close enough to the mic as well. So I think that I had a combination of both the mix and Lane's placement where the mic is concerned. Or maybe he just didn't want to be heard too tough. You know, there's some artists who do that. So I don't know. So yeah, so that's my breakdown of Battle. If you're a bit confused, please do forgive me. I tried to break it down as cohesively as possible. But UK Garage has a special place in my heart, and this is one of them. I mean, Battle, there are two reasons why I chose this song. One, because of the nostalgia, obviously. And secondly, we can all agree that last year was truly a battle for millions of people. And the effects of the pandemic, and even the pandemic itself, we all know realistically it's not going to go away anytime soon. So we're still battling a lot of things and trying to make sense of it all. But this song is very uplifting and encouraging 21 years later. You know, every day is like a battle, but we'll overcome. When we get back in the saddle, faith will bring us on. So no matter who you are or what's going on in your life, like if you're feeling down, just play this song. I mean, yes, it's UK Garage, but I believe it's a crossover and anybody of any age can appreciate the song for what it is. I don't believe it really goes over people's heads. There's some other UK Garage tunes that it will take a real garage head to appreciate, but this one, I feel like it's commercial enough. Yeah, that's what the word I was looking for. It's commercial enough for people, for anybody to appreciate, to enjoy. So as the new year has started and we are figuring things out, just know that no matter what's going on, no matter the battles, you'll overcome one way or another. And that's that really. So shout out to Wookie and Lane for this excellent song. It has aged very, very well, in my opinion. And yeah, it's dope. As per usual, you can find me on Twitter, Ms. Jojo B, MZJOJOB, if you'd like to have a chat. Don't be shy. And you can follow That's My Tune in the following ways. That's My Tune Pod on Twitter. That's My Tune Podcast on Instagram. And if you'd like to email, that's my tune podcast @gmail.com. I'll be back next Tuesday with another episode. Until then, catch up on the other episodes if you haven't already. Spread the word about the podcast for musical nerds like me, like you. And yeah, that's about it really. I'm out. Bye.